Good morning, good morning, and welcome. I love how easy it is to get an applause in this crowd. Welcome to Intersection Conference 2023. It is an absolute pleasure to share this grand hall with all of you. And I don't know if I was the only one who got a little bit teary-eyed at the crypt last night, because there I was in conversations with so many of my friends who I see once a year. And that felt really, really special. If this is your first time to an Intersection event, raise your hand. That's over 50%. Wow, wow, wow. Big, big, big warm welcome. And I'm so glad that you guys are stumbling into this craziness of intellectual combativeness and trying to create better futures. Which means, raise your hand if you are an alumni one way or the other. It's wonderful, wonderful to welcome you all back. And it's so appropriate to be in these surroundings, I feel. Because, first of all, it suits you, Milan, like brand-wise. I think, this is, identity-wise, very you. I felt like I should be waltzing on stage, but, we have 2 days, so stay tuned. But I also think it's appropriate because the ideas we're tackling at this conference are very grand and fickle and tricky and important. So carrying out these conversations in spaces where generations of problem solvers, of academics, of business people have shared their wisdom, shared their knowledge, feels very spot on. So I would love for you to give a big, warm, and grateful applause to the president, one of the presidents, the founder, Milan, who will now take us briefly through what the hell we'll be talking about over these 2 days. So give him a big hand.
Thank you, Guro. Test, test. Yeah, welcome. I also find this venue adequate. It's very nice. So this is the 9th conference, Intersection. It has been quite a lot of times now. And we're getting, as Guro said, in some kind of a habit to see friends and make new friends once a year and talk about this idea of designing enterprises. And this time we are talking about the idea of sustainable enterprises. And so the first question that I wanted to ask today is this one, what is a sustainable enterprise? This is a photo I took in France in the woods. And then I put it as a background because, I didn't know anything better to put. Because obviously this is kind of showing a sustainable situation, right? We all like woods and we want them to grow. But if you look on the internet and you look for definitions, it's quite, there is no easy answer. So we don't actually know what this sustainable enterprise that we are talking about is, and we are here to find out. Some answers that the internet provides. The first one is fun. It's an enterprise that sustains itself. Maybe it's about carbon neutrality or environmental impact. Maybe it's also about relationships to stakeholders or customers or maybe investors, maybe neighbors, maybe the government, maybe everyone. It's about the planet is also some kind of consensus. Interestingly enough, a question there is it about sustaining the planet, or is it about sustaining humanity or human life on the planet? Because I think the planet is fine without humans, like it's more about what do we make with it. And this is where enterprises come in, right? Enterprises that are somehow useful, that take accountability, and that make meaningful relationships and add values to someone's lives and so on. But the easier question is, what is actually a non-sustainable enterprise? That's actually quite easy normally, because you can just look at what are they doing, and you see, okay, maybe they make a pile of bikes somewhere in China, right? We use this picture in our trainings a lot. You might have seen it before if you went through it. As an example for, you look at the result that this enterprise produces, and obviously, not a sustainable enterprise. But interestingly enough, the first one on this red list is the same. It's also an enterprise that sustains itself, right? So that can't be the answer, even though also sustainable enterprises need to sustain themselves, right? But then, you have all these other things that sometimes enterprises do, polluting the environment, only looking into the shareholder value and nothing else, and working actually against sustaining human life on this planet. Also, maybe not taking accountability and not being transparent and so on. But then again, is this really a list of clear criteria? Is it more like anecdotal evidence? How can we actually judge whether or not an enterprise is sustainable or not? And we hope that we will see some examples in this conference of enterprises that try and maybe fail and maybe succeed and try to find out what is it that makes an enterprise successful and sustainable. How do we create sustainable enterprises? We have this theory at Intersection Group that it's more like gardening than construction. Right, so we like this man in the garden. He's so friendly and he makes the flowers grow, and we think that's kind of how we need to design enterprises. We can't blame the plants for not growing. We can't blame the weather and so on. So we need to deal with these things and work with them, work around them, and so on. But to be honest, we also don't know. You might have guessed it. How to actually create sustainable enterprises, because if you don't know what it is, it's also tough to know how to create one. We know that there are more and more tools, and some of them we will meet at this conference, that people use to desigine sustainable enterprises, or to at least take as a criterion how to look at an enterprise and see, is it actually sustainable or not? You have obviously you have the SDGs. They are now often explicitly part of the goals and the purposes that enterprises put out. We have tomorrow also featured the donut economics, another model. We might have circular economy. You have now the new double diamond from the UK Design Council that is more about systemic design and systemic interventions. There's another model from the OMG, small business architecture. And also Shutterstock has something to say about, maybe it's about bikes and plants and so on. And so we will meet these models and maps. We have obviously our own model, right? And we have encouraged everyone to use this model as some kind of a navigation aid. If you don't know it, you all have it in your bags. It's called EDGI, and it's decomposing enterprises into elements according to 3 facets and their intersections. And we use that to ask questions like, what are we here for? What do we actually do for people? How does it all fit together? How does it work? And without going into details, you will meet this model again and again during these few days. So welcome to you. Do you also think someone is missing? I don't know.
Wolfie? Wolfie! Oh my God.
The new technology is tough.
So first of all, welcome. It's on now. Is it? Not working. Okay, I can speak loud, no problem. You should rock our voice. Okay. Yes. Some people okay. I have a loud noise, so first of all, welcome to the city that gave birth to me. This one should work. For me, this is a super exciting moment, right? We have the whole world. We have people from Canada and United States and India, somebody from India here, hopefully, and some people from Australia and all around the world, Germany and France and so on. It's one of the top 3 moments in my life, I think. So there was this marriage thing, this was better, maybe marriage, and kids, the birth of my kids also, but I think it's in the top 3. So it means a lot that you all made this long way in this impressive setting. So thank you for that. I'm beyond excited. I'm super happy to have you all in here. And maybe you're curious, that's not what I usually wear, you know that. So why do I have dress like that? Guro, she asked me the day before yesterday, what is this Austria thing all about? And my first thing was to say, classical music, of course. And if you came early enough, there was some Mozart, overture of the Zauberflöte, so we're really proud of that. And of course, we are famous for our architecture, we are famous for our empire, the big buildings, right? Some cliché for you here. We've had our dark sides, right? We are really good in triggering world wars. We always lose them. That's why we have these huge buildings, but a small country. So that's us. But maybe you're not so interested in Austrian history, so I don't really want to bore you. I promise I will be short. So for me, I said, okay, why I'm doing that? I think that Austria is very much about cliché. But it's also important to know your roots, right? So I think I have something in me that's Austrian. That's kind of my tribe. And you in your disciplines, UXers, we have the best UXers. We have some software architects, domain-driven designers. Nick? No? Yeah, so some people from the green facet, from Sweden, identity. But still everybody is somehow kept in his or her tribe. And that's a good thing. I mean, that's natural. We want to be part of a certain tribe. But as Milan said in his part of his speech, how can we make better enterprises? How can we create sustainable enterprises? How can we make the change actually happen? Not only create beautiful maps and do nice talking and so on. How can we make it happen? And the cool thing is we have everything in this room, right? We have 90 people, the best thinkers in the world, from all facets, from all 3 facets. So what might be needed to finally make it happen, right? And I think, can we start the win now? I think that shows it beautifully, right? You might have seen this piece of art. So these are our facets, the green facet and so on. So I think what we want to make happen is, so these are our tribes, yeah, we can be proud of them. We all have our roots, yeah, I have my roots, I keep my trousers on, these nice trousers here. We all have our roots, and that's a strength, it's a strength. But it's also kind of a weakness, because if we don't manage to get outside of our ivory tower, if we don't manage maybe to unmask a bit, right, so to also get rid of this cliché here, it's too hot in here anyway. And that's what we want to see in this conference, right? That's what intersection is all about. So if you're a first-time participant at the conference, welcome. Yeah, we'll see this community is special. We have some people here for the first time. I know some. Maybe half of them have been there for a couple of times. Intersection, everything happens during the break times. So use the opportunity. Use the opportunity and be permeable of some kinds, right? Use your curiosity and keep it wafty, so that's a new term I learned, right? So keep it wafty and make the intersection happen during the breaks. Yeah, of course, we have a long way to go to make it actually work, the changes, but it all starts with you. It all starts with people. And I want to close this little inspirational talk, I hope it was inspirational, with a little poem. I only managed to recall 4 lines of these verses, so thanks Bart Papagei for the translation, and this is a poem by Julia Engelmann. The poem is called One Day. And so it goes, let us take our masks away, let the differences no longer matter, so that we all can calmly say how much we value one another. And it's all about valuing the other, yeah? And keep your roots, undress a bit, right? I do a little striptease again. Of course, I know when to stop. And stay curious, stay honest, stay true, stay who you are. And maybe you can learn and maybe you can improve in this conference. That's what my resolution for the conference. And again, happy to have you. For me, this is super exciting. Yeah, enjoy.
Thank you. Will we honor Wolfgang's invitation? Will we deeply connect with the people who are here?
Yes.
Will we help grow this crazy international movement of edgy and intersection? Yes, I knew it. I really think that unmasking metaphor is very powerful. And I think we all go to so many seminars and conferences and breakfast meetups and yada-da, and then we come and we go, we never see the people again. I really do invite all of you to go quicker into the essence of what you want to be talking about. You are surrounded by some amazing practitioners here over these 2 days. There is so much wisdom and value to be exchanged. So don't tip around and be polite and have fun and all, but there's, if you have something you're working on, reach out, because this room is filled with collaborators who might benefit you. Some practicalities before we jump in and really get started. You might have seen our little book stand up front. This is our way of showcasing some of the amazing authors we have in the room and in the network. Special intersection prices, so please grab a copy and bring it back to your teams or back to your bookshelf if it compels you. We also have someone we need all of you to meet, Julia. She's right over there with the camera. Say hi to Julia and good morning. She is helping us make this last forever by taking photographs. And yes, there will be one gigantic communal team photo before these 2 days are over. We can't miss this opportunity. But this also means if you don't feel like having your picture taken, just let us know. We can always make sure that we don't want to step on anyone's toes. In the program, there are some surprises, but some of them are official. One of them are karaoke. Have any of you experienced with PowerPoint karaoke before? So you're first. This afternoon, we invite all of you to join us up here on stage, because this can be yours, this can be yours. So we will have some fun playing around with some improv later in this afternoon, because it's a long day, it's 2 long days. No, wait, it's 3 long days, right? So in intersection history, this is brand new. Typically, we have 2 days of packed agendas of conferences and talks. This year, we have 3. The last day, on Wednesday, some of you will stick around and really get deep into the edgy practice and workshop and update and develop the framework we're all familiar with. But the 2 first days remains designed as we know and love it. 1 track in this room with talk after talk after talk, which is beautiful. In our next door room, we have the option to join workshops. So every single day of these 2 days, there are 2 workshops each day. Pay attention to the program, check in with yourself, and choose whatever feels good and right for you. We will wrap up today at 4 o'clock. You are all welcome to join us here for a drink and dinner on the conference between 4 and 7 if you feel like it, and continue the conversations. And like Wolfgang mentioned, it's all about the breaks. So we have a generous midday lunch, about 90 minutes long, enough for you to really make some new friends. Sounds good? All right, wonderful. Anything I missed?
Yeah, just the first slot in this room. Unfortunately, Gerald is sick and can't come, so we only will have 2 a little bit longer sessions by Jorai, Andrea, and Shruti. The workshop room is out the main entrance to the right, and then again to the right. And we have a kind of limit of more or less 40 people. We never so far had felt the need to do pre-registration for workshops. So it's more like, if the room is really, really full, you're too late. Yeah, so this is today. This is tomorrow. You find it on the website. And I would like to take this moment to really thank our sponsors and partners. Qualiware, they are outside with a enterprise modeling tool that now officially also supports Edgy. So if you want to take a look how that works and how to use a repository-based tool for this kind of stuff, all the complexity we are handling, have a look. Cycle to Accelerate, Sprong, and Rosenfeld Media, who very generously supplied a lot of the books that we have at the bookshelf. And our partners, the European Organization Design Forum, the Association of Enterprise Architects, the Enterprise Experience Community by Rosenfeld, and Systems Innovation. Because intersection is all about bringing different tribes together, we are very happy to have these partnerships with the representations of those tribes. And also I'm quite happy that this is more like, we have a kind of a, every tribe is kind of well represented in this room and also in the global community. And that's all I have to say.
Perfect. Thank you, Milan. Thank you, Wolfgang. Big hand of applause to the presidents.